So now I'm starting off with a clean, moisturized face. To fill in my eyebrows, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in the color Dark Brown. I am now brushing my brows in the direction of the growth pattern. When filling in my brows, I like to start at the arch, then moving on to the tail end of the brow, and then at the beginning. When filling in your brows, be sure to apply a light hand because you don't want your eyebrows to be unnatural looking or filled in too dark. I do have fuller brows and I like to fill them in because I like my eyebrows to be more defined and fuller looking. I'm now using the NYX Control Freak Brow Gel in Clear. I like using this brow gel because it breaks up any excess product. To carve at the bottom part of my brow, I'm going to be using the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer in the color Armande. I'm also going to be using the MAC Studio Finish Concealer in the color NW30. I'm going to be mixing both of these concealers together because I like the consistency. When carving on my brows, I like to use a shade 1 or 2, sometimes 3 shades lighter than my skin tone. I like using this brush because it has a flat tip and it makes carving out your eyebrows easy. Now I'm taking the LA Girl Pro Concealer and I'm going to carve out the top part of my brows in the color Dark Cocoa. When carving out the top portion of my brow, I like to have a concealer that matches my skin tone because I want to make it look as natural as possible. Now I'm blending out the concealer underneath my brow. I'm going in with the MAC Paint Pot in the color Soft Ochre. Sometimes it can be really difficult when trying to blend out that base when you have nails on. So if you feel you're having a hard time, just take a small brush and blend it out. I'm now going into the Morphe 350 palette. I'm using this burnt orange shade and it's going to be for my transitional color. I usually like to go in with a nude eyeshadow to set the base because it can be a little tacky to work with, but for some reason on this video I didn't. So if you're trying to recreate this look, make sure you do use a nude or translucent powder to set your base. When blending out your transition shade, make sure you don't go too far into your brow bone. So today I'm going for that halo effect, so I am blending all the way out to the corners of my eye and to the inside corner of my eye. I'm going back into the Morphe 350 palette. I'm going to be using that deep brown burnt orange shade. Going into the Morphe 35P palette and using this deep plum color. I'm now intensifying my eyeshadow. I'm using the Morphe brush in M505. I'm now going back into the Morphe 35P palette and I'm using the lighter purple shade. With this color, I'm going back in and I'm redefining my halo eye. I'm now going back into the Morphe 35P palette and I'm using this dark brown color with my Morphe brush E18. As you can see, I'm switching back and forth from the Morphe E18 brush to my M505 brush. The Morphe E18 brush basically helps me pack on the eyeshadow, and then the M505 brush helps me blend it out. I'm now going into the Morphe 350 palette and I'm using this nude shimmer shade along with my MAC Prep and Prime, aka Fix Plus. I'm spraying my brush because I want to make sure that the eyeshadow is going to come off very pigmented. And the brush I'm using is a Morphe M209 brush. So I'm patting on my eyeshadow. I'm patting it on in soft motions and I'm kind of like sliding it as well. When I apply my eyeshadow to my lid, I like to exaggerate my lid space because I do have hooded eyes. Also, I do have some creasing and folding within my eyelids. I am now taking my Morphe brush in the number M62 and I'm basically going over and defining my crease. Now I'm going in with my Sonia Kashuk brush in the number 106. I'm going back with that same eyeshadow I used in the Morphe 350 palette. The reason why I'm going back in with the smaller brush is to blend out the eyeshadow on my lid as much as possible. I'm going back into the Morphe 35P palette and using the plum color to redefine my crease color. Sometimes the shimmer colors can wash out your crease color, so you just want to go back in and re-intensify the crease color. So I'm going back into the Morphe 350 palette and I'm using these two nude colors for my brow bone highlight. I'm using the crown brush in the number C209. I like this brush because it's soft and fluffy and it really packs on the color. This brush also helps with blending. I'm now using the Morphe brush in the number M504. When doing my brow bone highlight, I like to go in with a matte shadow, and then after I like to go in with a shimmer shadow. now I'm going to be lining my eyelid with the Master Precise by Eye Studio from Maybelline, New York, in the color black. As you can see, this is a felt tip liner. I like to use this felt tip liner because it's easier for me to draw my wing. I'm now going to go over my eyeliner with the liquid liner from Maybelline by Eye Studio in the color Blackest Black. I'm using my Morphe brush in the number M158. Now that I've finished doing my eyeshadow, I'm going back in with a makeup wipe and wiping up any excess makeup or any fallen shadows. I'm going in with my CoverGirl Lash Blast Volume Mascara in the color Very Black. So I have very curly eyelashes, so I just like to use a mascara to loosen up the curl. Now I'm applying to my face the Lorac Porefection Mattifying Face Primer. Now I'm going to apply the LA Girl Pro Concealer Corrector in the color Orange. I like to apply the orange corrector all over my face where there are dark spots. So you can see I do have a lot of acne scarring, so this basically helps to camouflage. I'm going in with the Morphe brush in the number M335. So I'm just blending out all of that orange corrector on my face. I like spraying the Max Fix Plus on my brush because it helps blend out the product. For my foundation color, I'm going to be using the Lancome Tint Idol Foundation in the number 540, and the color name is Suede. I'm also going to be mixing the Maybelline Fit Me Foundation in the number 360, and it's the dewy one. Now I am going in with the Real Techniques Puffer Brush, and I also sprayed Max Fix Plus to help blend out the foundation. I like mixing the Lancome Tint Idol Foundation with the Fit Me Maybelline Foundation because the Lancome Foundation is very mattifying and over drying for my skin. I do have oily skin and it's really oily in my T-zones, but I don't need that much mattifying. So that's why I go in with the dewy foundation as well. Now I'm going in with the Real Techniques foundation brush. I'm using the Real Techniques foundation brush and I'm going into the areas underneath my eye as well as above my eyebrow and in the middle of my eyebrow to the nose area. This brush helps me to get into the hard to reach areas of my face. Now I'm going to be highlighting. I'm using the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer in the color Armande. I'm highlighting underneath my eye area, my nose, my cupid bow, my chin, and my forehead. So now I'm blending out my concealer with the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. So now I'm going back in with the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer again, but in the color Biscuit. The reason why I'm going back in with this lighter concealer is because I need my highlight to be a little bit more brighter. I like to bring my highlight above my jaw area because I feel like I'm getting an extra facelift, even though I don't need it because I'm still young, but yeah. get the point. So now I'm going back to fix my eyebrow because I kind of got some concealer on my brow. So if you have a mistake, just always go back and fix it. I'm going back in with my crown brush number C209, and I'm reapplying that nude color in the Morphe 350 palette to my brow bone. So now I'm grabbing my Morphe M432 brush and I'm basically extending my eyeshadow out on my brow bone and blending it out. Now I'm going back in with my felt tip Masterpiece eyeliner by Maybelline to just extend that wing. I'm going back in with my Morphe M504 brush to just blend out that shadow. I'm taking my Morphe brush in the number M421 and some concealer to carve out underneath my wing liner. I'm using my Sacha Cosmetics Buttercup powder and my Real Technique sponge to set my highlighted areas. I'm using my NYX Conceal Corrector palette along with my Real Techniques foundation brush to contour my face. I'm contouring underneath my cheekbones, my forehead, the sides of my temple, my jawline, and my nose. I'm taking my Real Technique sponge and blending out all of the cream contour. To set my cream contour, I'm going in with the Black Radiance pressed powder in the color Ebony. This color is a few shades deeper than my skin tone, so it really helps to define my contoured areas. I'm not sure what number this brush is, but you can use any contour brush to set your contoured areas. Lastly, I'm blending out my nose contour and I'm applying a little more setting powder to highlight my nose. Now I'm going to be carving underneath my cheekbones with the Sacha Buttercup powder. And I'm using my Real Technique sponge sponge to apply the powder. I'm now dusting off my highlight powder with the Morphe brush number M438. I'm now reapplying the Sacha Buttercup setting powder to my nose because I want a more brighter effect. I feel like I need it to be extra bright. I'm taking my MAC Mineralize Skinfinish in the color Dark Deepest and my Morphe brush in the number S15. To set the rest of my face and blend out any harsh lines. I'm contouring my nose with the brush number S11 with my MAC Mineralize Skinfinish. I'm going into the Morphe M530 palette along with my Sonia Kashuk shader brush and applying that burnt orange color to the bottom of my eyelid. I'm going into the Makeup Geek shadow in the color Bitten, and I'm going in and shading underneath my eyelid with that same Sonia Kashuk brush. I'm taking my Maybelline liquid eyeliner and filling in my waterline. I'm now going into the Morphe 350 palette and using that dark brown color to set the black eyeliner. The reason why I'm setting my black eyeliner with a brown eyeshadow shade is because I don't want to have black fallout underneath my eyes. I don't want to look like a raccoon either. I'm using my Morphe brush in the number M410 to blend out any eyeshadow underneath my eye. I'm now applying the Black Radiance Baked Blush in the color Warm Berry with my Morphe Angled Blush brush in the number M504. I'm now using the golden highlighter in the Missy Lynn palette to highlight the tops of my cheeks with my Morphe fan brush in the number M601. I'm going into my Carli Bybel palette and applying the champagne and the golden highlight color to the tops of my cheeks. The reason why I'm applying 3 highlight shades is because I really want my highlight to pop. On camera, it doesn't seem like my highlight is that poppin', but in real life, it's really that poppin'. When applying your highlight, make sure you blend out the highlight with your finger. I'm going back in with my blush brush and blending out the highlight for a seamless effect. Now I'm moving on to my lips. Make sure you moisturize your lips before you put on any lipstick or lip gloss. I'm now using the Jordana Cosmetics Easy Liner in the color Coco Loco to outline my lips. I'm using the ColourPop Cosmetics Liquid Lipstick in the color Tulle. I'm now going back and reapplying my lip liner. I'm taking my Morphe M562 brush and applying my highlight to my Cupid's bow. And I'm using the golden highlight in the Missy Lynn palette. I'm now going back and retouching my face. I'm now setting my face with the MAC Fix Plus setting spray. I'm now applying my Ardell Double Up Lashes in the number 205 with my Dual Lash Adhesive. To apply my lashes, I'm using the lash applicator that came with the lash pack. I also like to use my tweezers when applying my lashes. I'm now blending in my natural lashes with the falsies with my Lash Blast Volume Mascara from CoverGirl. Now I'm curling my lashes and the falsies with my eyelash curler. And now my makeup is all complete.